This is CASSIUS for IFL TV, proudly sponsored by Everlast. Delighted, as always, to be joined by Mr. Peter Fury, wherever you are in the world.
Right, KUGAN, yeah, good to speak with you.
Can you let us in on that information of where you are in the world?
I'm in Cannes, South France.
There's worse places to be.
There is. Lovely place. Always nice to be back here. So, now we come over here. I've been over here now 5-6 weeks with Huey. So, he's in his training camp out here. So, yeah, it's so far so good.
And, yeah, we'll definitely come on to Huey as this goes on. Let's start with, obviously, the weekend's major talking points. And was it a shock or was it not a shock? Because I've seen kind of two sides to this with Canelo and Bivol.
I don't think it was a shock. Bivol's one hell of a good fighter. You know, so there's no shock there. You're looking at a guy who's boxed all of his life, world champion. You know, what can you say? You know, you're fighting the elite fighters. You know, top fighters, and Bivol is a top fighter. You can see that. It's just by looking how relaxed he is. You know, his footwork and the way he goes about his performances. You know, the guy's a class act. He can really fight. It's not Canelo having a bad night. You know, you're up against top fighters. They're not gimme fights these. You know, you run risk. And, you know, that's it. So I don't know what the big deal is anyway. I don't know what people criticise. You know, the man needs maximum credit, Canelo, for stepping up and taking fights which are not winnable. You know, where it's not all one-way traffic. You know, he's fighting live opponents. So this is what happens. You know, too many people want to protect that zero. They think it's such a big thing, but it means nothing. When you're fighting top-class people, nothing's a guarantee, is it?
I mean, let's talk about, obviously, the scorecards, 115, 113 in Bivol's favour, which means that really, had he not have won that last round, we could be talking about a draw here. Was the fight that close?
No, you know, look,
Bivol
won that. I didn't see the full fight. I seen clippings of it, and I seen quite a few clippings of it, and all the ones that I seen, you know, Bivol was in control of that fight. You know, he won that fight. I would say he won it pretty clear. You know, not completely one-sided. Canelo was in a tough fight. You know, it was a good competitive fight, but there was only one clear winner there. So, you know, scores are what they are, aren't they? You know, judges or whatever. But looking at the fight, the right man won, and he won it pretty convincingly.
Well, what is the need for? I'm not just going to say in the UK, but just certain boxing fans and kind of critics in general when a fighter has been beaten. I saw the same with Lomachenko when he lost to Teofimo Lopez. It's almost a case of, oh, he weren't no good anyway. That kind of attitude. I'm not saying specifically that's what they're saying, but there is vibes of people questioning how good they were. But that's, I don't know, I'm not going to specifically say that's to do with boxing in England or the UK or wherever. I'm saying that's...
How can you liken a fool to anything? You know, look, somebody that's never had a fight in his life will say a lot of stupid things because they've never had a fucking punch in the mouth. Have they? So, you know, people that don't see danger, have not been in danger, is liable to walk into danger. You know, it's like that. How many people have you seen be cheeky over a telephone? And when you see them face to face, even the thought of getting a punch up the lips, yeah, they fold without doing anything. It's a different person when you're in front of them. So what does that mean to me? Nothing. What does it mean to me? Another, you know, somebody criticising the likes of Canelo. They're not good enough to wipe his ass with toilet roll. So that shows where they're at in my eyes. Nowhere. You're looking at a great champion, yeah, an elite fighter that will go down in the history books. You know, you're not talking about world champion. You're talking multiple weight divisions world champions here. You know, it's just foolishness, isn't it? So it does make you wonder about boxing because there is a lot of good fans out there, but unfortunately, there's dickheads in all walks of life, isn't there? And, you know, boxing is no different.
Yeah, I'm not saying...
But I've got, the answer to your question is I've got no time for a fucking prick whatsoever, as you know.
I think everyone who knows you and knows of you knows that that's how you feel. With a lot of
Yeah, and if anybody's got to say something to me face, that's fine. You know, I'll have a punch up the lips, no problem, but I'll give one back. I'm 54 anyway. What am I going to do anyway? But, you know what I mean? All jokes aside, nobody likes a tosser, do they? So plenty of people chat shit over these social platforms. I hate these social platforms. I've got to be honest. I've gone right off them. I only put a few things out now and again because the privacy on it, you know, ain't worth talking about. And everybody wants to say things to get a like or whatever. It's a load of shit, isn't it? The world's gone fucking mad.
Yeah, I'll tend to agree with that. People can't just give... I'm not saying everyone. I'm kind of putting out just a few people on kind of what we see on social media. But just let Bivol have his moment. He was the better man on the night. It wasn't, like you said, an off night for Canelo. He was beaten clearly on the night. And just
look what he done with the punches with Callum Smith with his arm. He was putting the same shots together with Bivol. You know, it's the same Canelo. There's not a worse Canelo. He's not had an off night. You know, he just, whether he got his tactics, whatever, you know, why fix something if it's not broke? He's been winning like that all before. He's gone and done the same thing. But that style hasn't worked. And Bivol has showed its shortcomings only because Bivol's an exceptional fighter himself. You know, so you're right. We haven't got an under-par Canelo having a bad night. You know, we've got Bivol, who is an elite fighter, and, you know, he's proved his worth. You know, that's all there is to it. He's fought a better man on the night. Can Canelo come back? Can he win it? Yeah, he can. I've no doubt he will adapt and come back. But is it enough to beat somebody like Bivol? Who knows? We'll see.
In your opinion, how much interest is there? We know money talks, and we know that there probably will be a rematch, etc., and it will be a big spectacle when it comes around. But from an interest level, do you want to see a rematch between the two of them?
Yeah, it'd be nice for Canelo to avenge it, wouldn't it? You know, it would just cement his status even further. So that's why he's doing it. So people will be intrigued to see for that reason. So I think they'll have the rematch. And I like Canelo, what he said after it. You know, he said, you know, you're fighting the best, you know, you win, you lose. You know, he didn't come up with a lot of excuses. The better man won on the night, as simple as that. So that's where we are with it.
Well, I'm sure this will be talked about for the coming weeks and months until they do have a rematch, which I'm sure is inevitable.
But no, to slate a champion like that, you know, is begs belief. You know, he's not been slaughtered. He's not been dropped 10 times. You know, he's not been stopped. This is a guy who's been in a competitive fight for 12 rounds. You know, so to come out with the stuff to come out with, it's beyond, doesn't it?
Okay, right. Moving on from there, Peter. Yeah, just wanted to ask your take at the moment regarding Savannah Marshall and Claressa Shields. We saw some interviews with Claressa Shields a couple of weeks ago where she was suggesting that the situation may have gone cold and etc. But can you kind of just clarify what the situation is regarding Marshall and Shields?
I've not seen Savannah Marshall since she's had her last fight because I'm over here with Huey in the south of France. Savannah Marshall's had a procedure, you know, so there's no cloak and daggers, nothing being hidden. She's had like a procedure on her arm. So that's it. She's in recovery mode. And, you know, it's not that big of a deal. So she's had it done. And she'll be joining me whenever, next few weeks or something like that, to start training camp once she's had a bit of physio on it. So that's where we are. You know, I hear a lot of shit about what people speak and everything else. Savannah Marshall, yes, she wants that fight. She'll have that fight. And both of them's got nowhere else to go anyway. So they need to fight each other. So that's the fight. That's the fight that's going to be next. You know, Savannah's not wanting anybody else. And all these excuses and all these things that people's putting out, you know, is this a reason for them not to take the fight? because I can assure you on one thing, and the world knows how I am. Savannah Marshall will have that fight. She wants that fight. She's ready to sign on the dotted line for that fight. As a matter of fact, we've been already told that fight's made. So I don't know what all the hoorah is. So I don't get involved in all that side. But Savannah knows that fight's happening. I know that fight's happening. And she's getting ready to start a camp. But I've heard all sorts of stupid, silly rumours where, you know, I won't go into detail what they are, but any stipulations that Camp Shields wants, we're happy to oblige. No issue here with anything. So we got nothing to say about anything, only get the job done. I'm not in the job for talking and getting things done, so she'll have a good training camp, and that's it. And they'll get the fight on. So it needs to be done, it needs to be announced, and I'm sure Boxer will get it announced. So I think we're just waiting on some paperwork from the surgeon, and that's it. Should be all systems go.
So with you saying that Savannah's obviously going to come and join you in camp, the quicker you get a date, you can obviously work your camp. Obviously, you've got Huey in camp at the moment, but the quicker, the better for you. And we're assuming this is going to happen at some point, kind of June, July time, late June, early July.
Well, I don't know what the recovery time is, but if the fight don't happen this year, I never want to hear it talked about ever again. So she'll just move up in weight and take whoever's next available. But I don't even want to go there because I'm sure Clarissa Shields wants this fight, and I know Savannah wants this fight. And let's see who the best is. Listen, it's a fight at the end of the day. They're going to get in there. They're going to get well paid, get stuck in, and have a fight, isn't it? One believes they can beat the other. I want to see it. Everybody wants to see it. So it's going to happen. The only time it won't happen, I can't be responsible for what other people want to do. But I know I can speak for Savannah and myself. 1,000,000%. She wants that fight. I want that fight. And I believe Savannah's going to come through that fight.
Peter, has there been any suggestion or talk of the location of this fight? I mean, we're assuming it's going to be in the UK, possibly Newcastle or wherever, but has there been any other talk about where this fight could take place?
Like I said, I don't really get involved. You know, I get updated what's happening. You know what it is, KUGAN. I'm not interested in bollocks talk, to be honest with you. You know, I don't want to be a promoter. I don't want to be anything. I don't want to talk to these other fight promoters. I can't be fucked with them, to be honest. So all I want to do is get them to have a fucking fight. That's it. That's what we're in it for, isn't it? Can't bother with anything else.
Okay. Yeah, as you mentioned earlier in this interview, that Huey is in camp now. What is the latest with him? When can we expect to see him? Who's been spoken about to potentially having a fight with Huey now?
Huey's got a fight already sealed and done, and that announcement is going to be made this weekend, I'm told, on the Boxers show on this Saturday. Okay. So Huey's announcement will be made then.
Okay. All right. Well, that's only 3 or 4 days away, so I'm not going to pry you.
Yeah, well, I've only been told this today, so it's exciting, and like I say, Huey's ready, and it's Huey's got a very good fight. It's a tough fight, and these are the type of fights we want to be in. You know, when you see fights like this getting announced for the likes of Huey, who's my own son, and then we're talking about Savannah Marshall with Shields, you'll see where I'm coming from. You don't. There's no ducking fights here. I want us to fight the best. We're not in training camps to get walkovers. We're not in training camps to protect a zero. We're in training camps to fight the best, because why waste your time otherwise? You want to be a great fighter? Get in there. Fight the best. If you're good enough, you'll do it, won't you?
But obviously, we'll learn who this is on the weekend. But you're satisfied with this opponent for Huey, and you're saying it will be a tough test, yeah?
Definitely.
Okay. All right. Well, like I said, that's only like literally about 3 or 4 days away. So
yeah, not long to wait, KUGAN.
We'll wait. We'll wait along with everyone else.
Yeah.
Peter, I've got to ask you, did you watch the fight with Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano?
No, again, I'm over in the south of France, so it's difficult for me to see anything. But I do. I've seen the clippings, and it looked like they had a complete war there, especially in the last round. I've seen clippings of that. You know, and congratulations to Katie Taylor. It was a fabulous win, wasn't it? So, you know, I can't really comment that much on it, but she looked like she deserved the win, and that's it. You know, undisputed. You know, what can you say? She needs the maximum credit for that win, big win.
But I mean, in terms of women's boxing, that fight there, and obviously the fight pending with Clarissa and Savannah, it's a peak time for women's boxing.
Oh, I agree. You know, that was a massive fight for women's boxing. You know what it is as well? They're putting good performances on. You know, they're getting stuck in, aren't they? You know, that's what the crowd really want to see. So it's good, and it's. I think the women's boxing is not far off being on the same par as men's boxing. I think certainly the next 12 months it will be there. Maybe 18 months, I don't know, but it's getting there. It's getting there quick.
Definitely. Okay, Peter. Listen, I appreciate the 20 minutes of your time tonight. I know it's a little bit later where you are, so yeah, appreciate your time, and yeah, we'll look forward to hearing Huey's announcement this weekend, and hopefully this confirmation of Shivs and Marshall very soon. Yeah,
I apologise to the fans for being a bit blunt, but I can't do with the bollocks and I can't do with all the crap, cringe shite. So I just got to say, as I see it, you know, boxing's about fighting. It's not about anything else. So that's where we are, KUGAN.
Don't apologise to anyone. You're good. Peter Fury, thank you very much for talking to IFL TV. And like I said to you, we'll catch up with you over the coming weeks when, like I said, both those fights have been confirmed for your fighters.
100%. And no doubt we'll see you there, KUGAN.
100%. 100%.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Peter Fury.
Thanks, KUGAN. All the best to you.
Welcome, Team Everlast, to the Team Everlast Fitness app. Download the Everlast Fitness app and find your greatness within.